Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Saturday the 11th of December 2021. Today was a match day. We travelled up to Peterborough United with a full allocation of tickets sold, 2,365, and we got absolutely rolled over by Peterborough United. We lost 2-1. Yeah, what can you say? If you didn't half expect this, then you're not probably a Mill fan, or you've been a Mill fan for a couple of days, because this is what we do. It's what we do. This is a match report from news@den.co.uk. Tom Bradshaw's goal was in vain as Mill squandered a 1-0 lead to lose 2-1 at Peterborough United at London Road on Saturday. A second half double from Johnson Clark Harris turned the tide as the hosts got their reward for dominating the majority of the proceedings. They were Peterborough's first goals in 6 games. The 2 goals that Peterborough United scored today were their first goals in 6 games. The hosts started out on the front foot, but it was the visitors who had the game's first ever. Danny McNamara's cross came out to George Evans, but he fired high over the bar. Mill took the lead in fine fashion. Scott Malone's pass was picked up by Jed Wallace, who had the beating of his defender. He then played in a low cross that found the on-rushing Bradshaw, who slotted home. Posh threatened 2 minutes later when a free kick was cleared as far as Sammy Smodics, who fired a shot in, but Bartosz Białkowski was able to make a simple catch. Free kicks were causing the Lions problems. Another one into the box was parried away by Białkowski as the host turned up the pressure. The Posh continued to push forward. George Grant firing a shot over the bar after a well-worked corner before Jack Taylor headed over from a free kick in first half stoppage time. Joe Tomlinson fired a free kick wide. Darren Ferguson's side continued their dominance at the start of the second half. Tomlinson and Grant both having efforts saved by Białkowski. The hosts finally got their deserved equaliser in the 64th minute. The ball into the box was headed in by Clark Harris. He then doubled his tally to turn the game on his head. Another poor goal to concede from a Millwall point of view. Josh Knight's cross was turned in by the substitute, who was unmarked at the back post. Wallace came close to bringing Millwall level, but his shot was saved by David Cornell. Gary Rowett responded with a triple change. Wallace, Malone and Benicofobia were replaced with Mason Bennett, Shea Ojo and Matt Smith. Bennett went close with a late header wide, but the Posh held on. Did they mean Matt Smith? Matt Smith was the one with the header. Takeaways: more poor goals conceded. Giving away poor goals has been Millwall's Achilles heel this season. It's one reason why they're not close to the top 6. In truth, they were dominated from the moment they took the lead at the Western Home Stadium. The only shock was how long it took for the hosts to get themselves level. For the most part, the defence deserved a lot of credit for how they managed to hold out for so long. However, for all the chances the hosts created, the ones that they turned into goals were so poor. From Millwall's perspective, the Lions failed to deal with the physicality of Clark Harris, and he punished them. Away day drought continues. When Rowett arrived in SE16, he managed to fix the dreadful away form, but is tailed off this season. The Lions are not one away from home since the October 19th victory at Sheffield United, a run of 5 games and 3 defeats. The resolve that we have become used to seeing from the Lions away from home looks to have faded. They were dominated at Huddersfield for long periods. It was the same here, and that is a problem for Rowett going forward. 3 in 3 for Tom Bradshaw. It's been a tough couple of seasons for Tom Bradshaw, but he's hitting a purple patch for the Lions at present. It's now 3 goals in 3 games for the former Barnsley man and 5 for the season, which is more than he managed entirely of the last campaign. Those 5 goals have come in his last 7 games, which gives the impression if he is given a run in the side, he can certainly make a big contribution. He looks a lot more rejuvenated, and playing with a phobia up front has been a blessing for him as they both work hard for each other. This goal summed him up as a striker. He ran into the right place at the right time to put away a poacher's finish. All Millwall needed to do was get him in that situation a bit more often. Yeah, well, it's funny how at the moment they're discussing his contract and he's figuring out how to score, isn't that funny? Maybe we should give him a week-to-week contract, and he'll be the top scorer in the league. Rowett named the same side that beat Birmingham City 3-1 at the Den last weekend. The team was Białkowski, Hutchinson, Cooper, Murray Wallace, McNamara, Evans, Mitchell, Malone. Jed Wallace, Bradshaw, Phobie. Ojo came on from loan in 74th minute. Bennett came on for Jed Wallace 74th minute, and Smith came on for Phobie in 74th minute. The unused substitutes were Long, Pearce, Kieftenbeld, and Saville. Why would you name an unchanged side? One game is a home game and one game is a away game. You need to set up differently at home than you do away. If he wants to play 5 at the back away from home, if it gets us the points that we need, so be it. The only problem people were having is doing it at home. You can't do that at home. But apparently, from what I saw of the highlights of the game, they were just running straight through the middle of us. They were overloading the midfield. They were playing very narrow. We were playing very wide, and narrow beats wide. Playing narrow beats playing wide. That just overloaded the middle. Completely and utterly overloaded us in the middle, and got spanked for it. So what did Gary Rouse have to say about this? So this is quotes from news@den.co.uk. Mills Gary Rout gives his reaction as Peterborough United come from behind to win. Gary Rout couldn't hide his frustration after Mills' 2-1 defeat against Peterborough United at London Road on Saturday. It's hugely disappointing, Rout said. I thought Peterborough were fully deserving of their victory. They were really brave and aggressive in terms of how they played. We just fell short again. It's disappointing, that inconsistency. We worked a lot on it, being very good off the ball and out of possession today to allow us to then go and counter-attack. We did that quite early on in the game and look really, really dangerous and score a very good goal. We get to the half-time where we've not played as well as we can, but we're 1-0 up away from home. Second half, we changed formation to see if we could just get a little bit more pressure on the ball or up the pitch, because I just felt as though Peterborough were getting into our defensive third too easily. But it was the same story. Well, arguably it was worse because we ended up conceding 2 goals, so maybe you should have changed it back. We couldn't deal with Dembele. I thought he was excellent. He just wriggled out of every situation, and we just didn't defend well enough. You saw that first half. We just kept making foul after foul after foul, and then allowed them to keep putting free kicks into our box. There were a lot of things we didn't do well today. We didn't do the right things. We struggled to put pressure on them. Their movement around us was bright, and we struggled to deal with it. Whenever we had to step in and defend, we just kept fouling. Whenever we had to step in and defend and work your feet, not allow the forward players to wriggle past you, I don't think there was anything different all game. We just struggled to get close enough to them. And then when we had the ball, we just didn't use it well enough. If you keep turning the ball over against a team that are fairly comfortable in possession, then you're not going to get much out of the game. My only hope really was to defend properly, and we didn't do that today either. The first one, Clark Harris just ends up through on his home behind our back four, which is not acceptable. The second one, there's a cross in the box and there's a deflection, but he ends up free to make it 2-1. If you can see goals like that, you're not going to win any game. Away from home, you have to weather some sort of storm every now and then again, and you have to defend properly. If you do that when you're 1-0 up, and the game opens up and it's about your quality to go and get a second goal. The problem was we didn't do that well enough all game, not least of the very poor moments with the 2 goals. I don't expect Clark Harris to run away from us in behind our back four to go and score. Then I don't expect him to have a free shot at the back post. We didn't get any free chances anywhere on the pitch. I'm disappointed with our performance. I'm disappointed with our inconsistency. That's part of the challenge at the moment. We're sat in the 8th before the game. We had a fabulous opportunity to come here and show what we're all about. And what we've done is put another tepid performance in to stop us getting in those top parts of the league. And yeah, you can see on the right hand side we've slid down to 11th now. We're back in the middle of the pack of these teams that are all very tightly close together in terms of points, and we've just gone back in the middle of the pack of them, which is disappointing. But what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, so Stoke City are in 6th place and 35 points, so we're 5 points off the playoffs now. Now, of course, there's a long way to go. There is a long way to go. But what can you do? It's typical Millwall. Go to a team in a relegation zone and not turn up. Let's move on now to this. This is quotes from londonnewsonline.co.uk about Gary Rowett, some of which I think we've already heard. There's some that we haven't, so what do they say? Peterborough were fully deserving of their victory, said Rowett. We fell just short again. My only hope was to defend properly. We didn't do that today, said Rowett. The first one, Clark Harrison's. Yeah, we've seen that. What did we? Yeah, we've seen all this. All of this was in the News at Den story that I just read, so I'm not going to waste your time reading it again. Horrendous, but we've got this from London News Online, which is different from the News at Den article, and it's about what the opposition manager says. So he's got some kind of problem apparently. So horrendous. Peterborough boss Ferguson rages that Millwall defender McNamara are not sent off. Peterborough manager Darren Ferguson was furious that referee Lee Doughty didn't show Millwall defender Danny McNamara a red card for his tackle on Dan Butler in the first half. The Posh Bosh added that it was a blatant sending off. The Lions lost 2-1 at the Western Home Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Ferguson said, "The tackle was horrendous. It was a red card, absolutely blatant red card. I had to make an early sub. Dembele's been fouled about 25 times. The first one on him, he's running towards the 18-yard box and he was hacked down on the halfway line and the referee didn't book him. If you don't book them, then they'll keep fouling him. We've had that referee before and a red card is blatant. How has he not broken his leg? He's in a lot of pain. It's an horrendous tackle. I said to the boys at half time, if we get one, we'll win it. Johnson Clark Harris has come on and he's done what he's paid to do, score goals. It was a very pleasing performance. It was good to watch. When you're on the sidelines watching it and you're enjoying it, it tells its own story. The formation is one I know very well. It's difficult to play against if you've got good footballers. Today we did it and we played it perfectly. The midfield diamond was very good, exactly. Down the middle, they played a diamond. Down the middle, they overloaded us in the middle. And what did Gary Rowett do? He apparently changed formation in the second half, and it went worse. So, from his own words, he said he changed the formation to try and press them higher up the pitch, and it completely failed. Millwall normally play a bit higher, so I went with a bit more pace. At half time I was thinking we have to get Jono on and see if we can get balls into the box. Overall it was a good performance and it was needed. It was thoroughly deserved in the first half. It was the same old thing, final ball and final touch. I was disappointed when we went 2-1 up and we stopped passing it and went a bit deep. They stuck Matt Smith on and they've thrown it into the box. The best thing to do was to try and get a third to kill off the game, but I'm really pleased with the players. It was a poor goal to concede. We made 2 or 3 really good poor decisions for the goal. So there's the match quotes from Darren Ferguson there. And he thinks Danny McNamara should have been sent off and he's a bit upset, even though he's won. But I'm upset as well. I'm upset we lost 2-1 to Peterborough. I'm sure the full allegation of Millwall fans, 2,365 Millwall fans who went up there today, sell-out game, are disappointed that we didn't win as well. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck happened? Outplayed by Peterborough United. Who you sticking this one on? The players or the manager? He said he changed the formation in the second half and it didn't work. And it's something that a lot of teams have done to us. They pack the midfield because we play wide. We play Malone and Wallace out wide. What are you gonna do, huh? Ruin my weekend, that has. Anyway, we go again. We go again next week. Preston North End at home. See if they can turn that around. Although that's going to be a bit of a nightmare with all the COVID stuff. So I imagine that's affecting the players as well. Technically, because that's their workplace, isn't it? So are they all masked up, all that shit as well. I don't know. But well, we go again. Thank you for watching.